Hey guys, it's me, Miss Norris, and today I'd like to read you a fun winter story called The Christmas Party. The Christmas Party was written in 1978 by Adrienne Adams, and I believe it was also illustrated by Adrienne Adams. And it's a really sweet story, and I hope you really enjoy it. Here we go. The Christmas Party. You can see that that's an egg decorated for Christmas, for the holidays. Even before Christmas, the Abbotts were busy getting ready for Easter. Everyone knew young Orson Abbott and his parents. They were the Easter egg artists. Orson felt like a grown-up even though he wasn't, and he really loved being an artist. He could make every egg different from all the others, if he wished. So I'm going to get close and let you see there. Orson Rabbit and his family are known as the decorators, the artists, and he really likes doing that. Do you like being an artist? I do. Orson heard a tapping at the window. Just making sure I didn't miss a page. Orson heard a tapping at the window and looked up. The studio window was filled with young rabbits. "I wish those kids would leave me alone," Orson said. "Can't they see I have work to do?" He refused to pay any attention to them, and finally, they went away. At bedtime, Orson bundled up to go out. His mother said, "Oh, it's cold out there, the coldest night yet. Why don't you sleep in here tonight?" But I'm cozy in my tree house," Orson said, "and it's all mine. No one can get up there unless I let them in." He went outside and across the yard to a very tall tree. There he pulled himself up to his treehouse in the bucket elevator he had made. So there's all these little bunnies, and they really want Orson's attention. He says, "Don't they know I got work to do?" And at night, he goes out to his treehouse, even though his mama says it's going to be the coldest night yet. But he likes it because he's in charge of it. When he looked out the next morning, he found the bunch of little rabbits chattering under his tree. "Hi, Snopsy," Orson said to the biggest bunny. "What's up?" "You are," shouted Snopsy. "Will you let me come up and see your house, please?" "Why should I?" Orson asked. "My father says I can build a treehouse, but how can I if you won't let me see how you did it?" "Well, okay," Orson said. "Just this once." So can you imagine if you were a little bunny and you saw a bigger kid, he could do something really cool? Wouldn't you want to do it too? All these little guys really are looking up to Orson, not just because he's up high, but because they think he's a pretty cool dude. Of course, the first thing he knew, he was hauling up not only Snopsy, but everybody. His pad was jammed. "What a mob!" he cried. "Why are all you little kids hanging around together anyway?" "Well," said a small rabbit, taking a deep breath, we want to have a Christmas party as a surprise for our parents, and we wanted to ask you if you'd help us." Orson was stunned. "You want to give a party? How can you do that?" "Well, if you help us," said Snopsy. "How about here at your place, not in the tree house, but down in the yard maybe?" "Oh, no, you don't. That's too much work," said Orson. "But we'll do it all," yelled the little rabbits. Orson felt sure they wouldn't, but he knew he was trapped. "Well, all right." So all the little rabbits want to have a surprise party for their families, but they need Orson's help. And he thinks maybe if he says yes, he's going to end up with a little bit more work than the little rabbits say. When Orson went in the house for breakfast, he told his parents what he had done. "How can I get out of it?" he asked. "Why do you want to get out of it?" asked his father. "Well, it'll be a lot of work, and you know those kids won't do much. I'm going to be doing it all." "But Orson," said his mother, "didn't you promise?" "I think it sounds like fun," said Father Rabbit. "Let's go find a Christmas tree." When Orson saw his father and mother setting out across the snow with an axe, he followed, reluctantly. They found the perfect Christmas tree and cut it down, but it was too heavy for the three of them to take home. "This looks like a good job for a bunch of little kids," Orson said. "There are enough of them to do it, I'm sure." So Orson's parents are kind of liking the idea of this party, and they go out to get a tree, and Orson follows reluctantly. That means he doesn't really want to go, but he really doesn't want to stay home either. And there were. They did the whole job by themselves, pushing, shoving, pulling, hauling their tree on their sleds, and yelling like a pack of coyotes. It was a pretty big pack by now. So he called all the little guys, and the little guys came to the rescue. Just because you're little doesn't mean you can't do big things. Orson and his father made a base for the tree that could be turned. That way they could decorate the whole tree from Orson's elevator. Finally, the tree was up. Orson looked at it proudly. "I have a terrific idea," he said. "Why don't we decorate it with eggs? We certainly have enough of them." "Eggs?" Snopsy yelled. "Easter eggs? Oh, that's a neat idea." So they're going to decorate their tree with Easter eggs, and they think that's a kind of a neat idea. I bet they'll be pretty. The next day, everyone was helping with the tree decorations. Mother Abbott popped popcorn, and the little ones strung yards and yards of it on thread. Father and Orson chose the Easter eggs that seemed best for Christmas, and Orson painted some special ones just for the occasion. Then everybody went outside to decorate the tree. As they worked, big white snowflakes began to fall. So I'll get a little closer so you can see how pretty those eggs look on the tree, and they're decorating it from the elevator. And everyone is helping, even the little guys putting the popcorn together. I want you guys to see that even the Abbott house is kind of decorated like an egg. I'd kind of like to paint my house now that I saw that. It was the day before Christmas. "Okay, let's go inside now and get the presents ready," said Orson. "No muddy shoes in the house, just leave them at the door." Mother Abbott smiled gratefully at her son. When all the little rabbits were settled and working, Orson said, "Hey, Mom, how about a Santa suit?" "He already has one," his mother said. "He who?" "Your father." "Father?" Orson yelled as if he'd been shot. "I want to be Santa." "Oh," Mother Abbott said, "pleased to meet you." "Gee, Mom, can't you make me a suit out of something?" "Of course I can. Come here and let me measure you. You grow so much." So all the little rabbits are working on projects for their families, and Orson says that he wants to play Santa even though he thinks Santa's probably already going to be coming. Sometimes people dress up to help. Finally, everything was almost ready. In the middle of his Santa suit fitting, Orson suddenly thought of something he had to take care of outside. Mother Abbott trailed him out of the house with pins in her mouth and a sleeve in her hands. When he gets started, she said later to Father Abbot, he's a ball of fire. With Orson in charge, everything was ready by sunset. This is it. Christmas Eve, Orson said. I'm really proud of you kids. Now everybody scamper home and talk your folks into a moonlight sled ride, whether they like it or not. So everything's ready, and now the little guys have to go home and trick their families into coming on a nighttime sled ride. That kind of sounds fun. I've only gone on sleds in the daytime. It might be a little dangerous. You think? I don't know. Soon after dark, the Abbotts saw the sleds in the moonlight streaking down all the hills around. By the time the guests arrived, Orson was hiding in his pad, all dressed up in his special Santa suit. At exactly the right moment, Orson turned on a switch. The spotlights flooded the Christmas tree. The young rabbits all screamed, "Surprise! Merry Christmas!" Their parents almost fell over backwards. So you can see all the little rabbit families sledding in the moonlight. And just as at the right time, the lights hit the Christmas tree, and all the little rabbits yelled, "Surprise!" Then a rather small Santa came out of hiding. "Ho, ho, ho!" he shouted, trying to make his voice sound big and deep. The grown-ups clapped and clapped. Then Santa climbed into his elevator loaded with presents and slowly let himself down to the ground. Every time he handed out a gift, Orson said, "Merry Christmas!" And the little rabbits yelled, "Yay!" And they all squirmed happily as their fathers and mothers grabbed them to express their thanks with hugs and kisses. So we have our little Santa coming down in his elevator. All of the families are down at the bottom waiting. And all of the parents are giving their babies hugs and kisses, and they're getting squirmy like, "Oh, don't do that in front of my friends." But I think they secretly like it. I know I did. Then the youngsters built up the fire and roasted their most favorite food, hot dogs. When it was all over, Snopsy's father said, "It was the best party ever!" And all of the other parents shouted, "Yay!" The little rabbits, tired as they were, grinned broadly at each other. Orson patted them proudly on their backs as they left for their homes. So everyone had a good time. They roasted hot dogs on the fire. And then they were so tired but happy with themselves. It was a pretty sight as the guests climbed the hills to their homes. Many of the grown-ups were pulling their exhausted children on the sleds. The Abbotts sighed happily. "Let's go to bed," Mother Abbott said, "and leave the mess till tomorrow." "Don't worry about the mess," Orson said, yawning. "Those are good kids. They'll be back early tomorrow to clean up, I'm sure." And before he could say another word, he was asleep in his chair. So Mama and Papa Abbott also had fun. They liked looking at the colorful little families walking home. Mother Abbott removed the sleeping Santa's beard. "He's becoming very grown up," she said softly to Father Abbott. "Yes," Father Abbott replied. "He certainly made a Merry Christmas for a bunch of little kids." "And for us too," said Mother Abbott. "Good night, dear, and Merry Christmas." Merry Christmas. I'm going to show you very close up of a sleeping Orson and a proud mom and dad bunny. The end. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the story, The Christmas Party, please hit that thumbs up button at the bottom of the page. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. If you're not a subscriber yet, click that subscribe button down here at the bottom of the page, and don't forget to click that bell so that you're notified when there's new content. I hope you all have a really nice evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.